Hey, I am live. Cool. All right. So, hello, everybody. This is Thomas Ott for NeuralMarketTrends.com, and good morning. I will be starting this broadcast here, or I will be starting my sharing in about a minute or two. I am trying to use the Google Hangouts for the first time here to live stream. We'll see how good this goes. I see I can also have a group chat going on here on the side, which is pretty cool. So in about a minute or two, we'll be starting here. So I will be getting myself ready. Okay. I think the last time I tried live streaming, I was trying to do an intro and it ended up being that okay, let's try this here. Okay, well, let's get started. So, a couple different things. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to use RapidMiner to actually accelerate other people's work or to actually learn and inherit from other people's work. What you'll do is you'll see that on RapidMiner in the community, on my blog, on other blogs, there are tons of shared processes. Now, normally in any type of um, community, whether it's Python or R or PyTorch or something like this, there always will be a group of people that will share tutorials, they'll share processes, and a lot of times you can take all those processes or that bits of code and reuse them. Now, 9 times out of 10, you will probably have to tweak it based on your configuration, of course. So with RapidMiner, of course, it's a little bit simpler because it's a Java-based program. So it tends to run on Linux and Mac and Windows. But what really cool about it is that it has a fairly good backward interoperability. So if I find a process that was generated with, say, version 5 or even version 4, I could pop that into the new version 8 and a lot of things should populate. Now, there are some extensions or there may be some operators that have been upgraded or may no longer be available. So there is that. So you need to tweak it around and either add the extension that may be missing, or you could um, delete it, or you can do some other type of workaround. But for the most part, the processes will work because they're very interoperable. Interoperable. Okay, so let's go ahead and start sharing here for a moment. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, so I have my RapidMiner process loaded up here. Actually, or I just have my RapidMiner Studio loaded up here. And what you'll notice, it's a blank canvas. I have a couple of different things here that are not what the standard default layout is. It looks very, very similar, but if you look carefully, the default layout will have a repository here, a set of operators here, this process window, and it may not have anything down here. It'll have a help menu and it'll have a parameter window. Now, these are additional views that I enabled, and these are views that help me do my work. In this case, I enabled a log view, which lets me see what's going on if I'm running into problems or what's going on with training a neural network and so forth. But I also have up here another set of views called a macro view. Now I do I use macros quite a bit. For those that are relatively new that don't know what a macro is, it's really just a process variable or a global variable. It's a container where you can pass variables on the fly and use them somewhere else. And there's always a couple of standard ones. Like this one is a process start macro. There's a lot of standard macros that operate in the background, like this one here, or even time. There's one that will give you a timestamp and so forth. Those are things that RapidMiner uses in the background, and you can append your processes or you can append your data sets with that as well. And perhaps the most important one that I like to use is this XML window. Okay, the XML window is where I can actually share processes. Now in RapidMiner, and we'll go over this, in RapidMiner, there's two ways to share processes. Actually, probably three ways. There's three ways to share processes. The first one is you could export your process that you worked so hard on to an RMP file. You can call it something else, like my RapidMiner process, and it'll be exported as an RMP file. An RMP file is nothing more than a RapidMiner RM process. Okay, and that's pretty easy to do. You can then email it around and so forth. Of course, whoever then takes this process and loads it and imports it from coming over here will have to make sure they have all the right extensions and things like that installed as well. So if you have some dependencies like extensions, make sure that the person you're sending it to also has them installed. Hang on a second, close my door here. So a couple other different things. So the RMP file, that's one way to do it. The most common way of sharing processes are through an XML, through this window. Now, where do you get this window? Where do you get this view? That's what they're called. They're called views. How can you add new things to the RapidMiner GUI system here so that you can actually personalize it and help you with your workflow? Okay. Well, it's very easy. You just come down to view, pull down menu view, and there'll be a few options. There's a restore default view, which I'll do right now. I'll restore it. And this is typically what you'll see when you first load up RapidMiner. You'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little windows or views here. Now, I want to add the XML view, and I want to add the log view, and I want to add the macro view, because those are things that I use a lot. So where do I do it? I go to view, I go to views, or sorry, show panel, and you can see here that there's a bunch of stuff already not enabled. You can see which ones are enabled by the check marks here, right? Repository, process, parameters, operators, so forth. And there's a couple new ones here that are not enabled. So if I click on them, they'll pop up in the window. Now, they'll pop up in a generic spot or some, not necessarily a random spot, but the last area that you clicked on, they'll show up in that general area. So if I wanted to come over here and say, I want to see the log view, you'll see here that it popped up on the bottom. Well, I don't want it on the bottom. So you can just take it and you can drag it over like this. And now it pops up on the bottom, exactly where I want it. Okay. Now let's go enable the macro view and the XML view. And then I'll show you how to load a process in using XML from the community, no less, okay? Or from my website, no less. Okay. Let's come over here, show panel. Let's go to XML. Okay, popped up in here, not in the area I wanted, but I can drag it over here and get it to a little tab like so. Perfect. Now I have it here. Now I also want to enable the macro view. So come to macro and do the same thing over again. Oop, did I accidentally close my process window? I accidentally did. Let's go do this here. All right, let's go clean this up. See, sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes that's how life is. So let's come back over here, show panel, and let's enable the process window. And in this case, oops, I must have actually had it on, but I might have disappeared it. So let's go back. If you make a mistake, like what I just probably did, restore default, and let's go ahead and do this again. Now, sometimes people have complained that they can't see all these options. It has to do with your screen resolution. So pay attention. If you don't see all this stuff, it's probably because of your screen resolution. Let's come back over here. All right. And let's go do the next one. Go macro. Drag it over here. Perfect. And let's go do the log view. All right. Where are you? Here you go. All right. Excellent. Perfect. Good. Now we're ready to rock and roll. So I talked about exporting and importing via RMP files, right? RapidMiner process files. Now you can also do what I like is a very simple thing is you can use this XML window. So how do you get actually a process code, or how do you actually get the XML code for somebody that shared something? Let's go to the community. Okay, let's go to community. We'll close this out. Okay, yes. Let's go find something here that we could use. Let's go to RapidMiner Studio Forum. Okay, let's see here. Do we actually have some processes here? Maybe this one. I think this may actually have something here. Scroll down. Maybe hit next. No. Okay, wrong one. Let's try a different one here. Maybe was it this one here? No. Oh boy, I'm actually running into a. Okay, let's go try something else. Let's try this one. I think this is the one that I should have answered, but I forgot. Okay, so I have Yang Qing here was actually asking me a question, and I still need to get back to him. Apologize for that, but you can see here he shared his process, right? So I'm going to copy this process, and it's as simple as selecting and copying, right? So a couple different things that you also need to know, and we'll explain here, or I'll explain in a minute, some of the errors. There's a lot of people who post XML files that are corrupted, and I think I know what they're doing. Let's come over here. All I need to do is I just copied it from the community, and I just come here and I paste it. Okay. Now all this code is in here. It's not ready to use yet because if I come over here, I don't see anything. I need to make sure I click the green check mark. And the green check mark goes through like a quick validation to make sure that everything is properly formed. If it's correct, and now I'm testing this for the first time, all the operators should populate. And they do. And they actually populate. If it doesn't populate, that means your XML is corrupted. Now, how can you corrupt your XML? A lot of times, what people do, or at least what I suspect they do, is they have something like this. So I'm going to open up a text document here, or I'm going to open up a notepad here. A lot of them will go, I want to share my process. I'm just going to use a crossing window and copy this. And then I'm going to put this in here like this, right? Oh, look at this. It actually works, right? Hey, it actually generated the XML code. But here's what clues me off that this is what was done. Okay, you see how it says over here XML version 1, right? Well, it's repeated again here, and it's repeated again here, and it's repeated again here, right? If I actually look at the correct formed XML, it's only repeated once. It only shows up once. So when I see somebody's process in the community, and I see multiple entries of XML version this and so forth, I'm willing to bet that 99% of the time they just did a crossing window, copy and pasted it into a text document. Please don't do that. That's incredibly frustrating, and it saves no time. Just enable the XML view, then from here select all, copy and paste, and do it that way. Now this is actually something for the RapidMiner folks. I think this is something that you should try to fix, because I do understand the ease of use of doing this and copying pasting. I think that's a lot easier than coming here and showing a view and da. I hope that in some future version that this little thing gets fixed, because I think it would be a nice touch, but that's just me. Okay. So now, having said that, let's go look at a couple other things. There were a couple of questions on the community on how do I use WordNet. Okay. WordNet is an open library that was generated, I believe, from Princeton. Let's just go take a look at this real quick here. Let's go over WordNet. Yes, it's Princeton's WordNet. And we actually have, or RapidMiner actually has a set of operators, an extension called the WordNet extension, which allows you to do some additional text processing and also allows you to extract a sentiment value between -1 and 1. And that value is from the Senti WordNet project. Let me come over here. So if you want to read more about what Senti WordNet does, you can also come over here and you can see how it works. So the WordNet extension is typically used for people who want to extend the power of the text mining extension for RapidMiner. And it's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful as it is. And this is a nice way to actually do some opinion mining or to determine some sentiment and so forth. So there were a lot of questions on the community, and I'll pop up over here real quick, about WordNet and not getting it to work. So WordNet in itself is a little bit funky. Okay, WordNet in itself can be a little bit funky to use with RapidMiner. It's actually a tar.gz file, so it was predominantly used for Linux, but you can use it with Word, you can use it with Unix, and you just have to work around it a little bit. Okay, so what I did was I came over here and I went to download, went to WordNet download. Now, the one that works with the RapidMiner extension is version 3. So you have to come here, actually, or go to current version. You have to come here, and what you should do is you should download the Unix version. Don't download the WordNet one, the Windows one. Don't do that one. It will not work. You need to download this particular tar gzipped file, wordnet-3.0.tar.gz. I downloaded this already. I downloaded this and I put this in my OneDrive folder. You can see over here, I have created a directory for WordNet. Here are the tars and the gz. Actually, I'm done with them. I unzipped them. I unzipped them on my Windows machine and I created this automatically created this directory, WordNet-3.0. Now, here's a couple of things. I think a lot of reasons why people are struggling with getting this to work is that there's a little trick that's often overlooked on how to get this to work. When you use RapidMiner, and I'll show you how to do it, when you use the Open WordNet operator, come over here. Let's go clean this out here. When you use the WordNet set of extensions, and just remember from our first live stream, if you need to get any extensions, go to the marketplace, come over here and type in this one, WordNet, and there it is. Obviously, it's up to date. And just come over here and drag it in. Let's just open it. Let's just open it. And you need to always use the Open WordNet dictionary to open up the dictionary. Now, there's two parameters that you need to select here. One is a directory and one is a repository folder. Now, we're going to use a directory because I happen to have it installed on my OneDrive, and I'm going to link to it. Okay, let's come over here. Let's just output it. It's not going to do anything, but it's going to run, and it's either going to give us a success or a failure. Okay, so people come over here and they say, oh, I'm going to select the directory. So I'll come over here. Let's go to, where's my OneDrive? Select my WordNet and this directory, and then they think they're done. So if I run this, I believe it should fail. You see, people will keep getting this error. This is the error that I see people getting. And really what it means is that they didn't select the right folder. Right? Here's one of the things that you need to be aware. It's not the base folder that you need to select. It's actually the DICT, the dictionary folder. Hit open, run it again, and your problem goes away. It's as simple as that, folks. So hopefully this will actually alleviate a lot of problems or a lot of issues that I've been seeing on the community, especially some students that are having some issues with it. So now let's go actually try to build something with it. Let's actually try to create some synonyms with it, because that was another question on the community. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to disable this for a moment. And what we're going to do is we're just going to use our standard search Twitter operator. We'll drag that in. Output it. We'll select our connection. We'll do a query. We'll say RapidMiner. Let's take 1,000. And we're going to just use English. Now, the WordNet dictionary, the one that I'm using is the English one. And I believe there's other versions of it out there in different languages. You just have to download them. Now, I haven't tested it. You'll have to download them and make sure that you path to the dictionary file. Okay, that doesn't work. Make a post on the community. We'll see if we can try to figure it out. Okay, so hang on just a second. Excuse me. So let's run this. Let's see what we get. Okay, standard output sure looks good. Looks like, let's see, from the retweet counts, Kirk Boone and all these guys are pretty prolific RapidMiner tweeters, or at least they retweeted stuff. Okay, excellent. Let's go back to the process. And now let's prepare our data for some text mining. Okay, so we're going to go here now. I'm just going to select the attributes. I'm just going to select the text attribute. I just only care about that right now. Okay, and then I'm going to convert that because it's a nominal value or nominal data value to text, which is what we need to do text mining. Select that. And then what I'm going to do is take my process documents operator. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Nope, process documents from data, pardon me, wrong one. Drag it, drop it. And now let's go build our tokenizer. Now, I think in my last live stream, we talked a little bit about using a specific type of tokenizer. The default one works, of course, but it blows out a lot of different things when you're dealing with Twitter data, like @symbols, hashtags, and some of those are actually might be valuable to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to specify the characters on splitting. We want to split on space. We want to split on punctuation, period, comma, exclamation point, question mark, on a bracket maybe, on a curly bracket, and I think that's it. And then what we want to do is we want to lower the cases, or transform cases. Okay. We want to do maybe some stemming. We'll use, actually, we'll do stemming with WordNet. We're going to want to do some filtering. Maybe can we filter stop words? Let's go filter tokens, no stop words. No, it's actually, maybe I think WordNet has a filter too. WordNet. Only stemming. Okay, so let's just do filter stop words. All right, we're going to do filter stop words English. Okay, and now if we just run this and we output the word list and so forth without any pruning, we'll see what the raw data looks like. Okay, let's just see here. So we got, let's go total occurrences. All right, so it looks like it picks up the @symbols, perfect. It picks up the hashtags, but it looks like we're going to split on a couple other things. We're going to get rid of the colon. Okay, we're going to get rid of the colon. Let's come back over here. Colon and semicolon. And what we're going to do is we're also going to filter out small tokens, filter tokens, right? Okay, length, we're just going to default that in. And then we'll run it again. Okay, so it's starting to look a little bit better here. And you see how quickly this works? Right? How quickly you can go from extracting, say, social media data, and then all of a sudden building a text mining bag of words like right off the bat. And we haven't even talked about Word2Vec yet, which was created by one of my old colleagues, Monty Schmitz, which is a fantastic extension. We're going to talk about synonyms for now, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of HTTPS. So how do you actually get rid of some specific words? Well, let's come over here. Actually, we're going to get rid of -2. We're going to get rid of filter tokens, okay, by content. And we're going to get rid of HTT and .star. I think this is also a regex, right? Let's run this again. Nope, we don't want to do that. Let's go and invert this condition. There we go. Now I think we got rid of HTTP. Oh, and we're also going to split. We also want to get rid of the quotes. Let's get rid of quotes. You can see how easy it is to just build the tokenizer that you want. And let's run this again. Okay, now this is beginning to look pretty good. Except for this here. Get rid of something there. Okay. All right, let's just say for hypothetical sake, let's go get rid of the slash. Get rid of the slash. And I think we're good. Okay, so now let's talk about the WordNet one. You're going to first need the open WordNet dictionary one. You drag it in like this. And remember, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to select the dictionary directory. Come over here, go to WordNet, done. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually stem. We're going to stem using the WordNet dictionary. Now stemming takes the words down to their root thing. Now, using the WordNet dictionary, it's a little bit more humane. It tends to bring it down to the actual root of the word. That kind of makes sense. So we come over here and we just connect it like this. Now, one thing you notice is that you can pass this dictionary across. There's this little port right here called dic for dictionary. So you can actually you can actually attach more WordNet operators to that and pass the dictionary through. And that's a really cool thing. So we're going to do that with synonyms, right? Find synonyms. Come over here, connect it out like that. So for now, we're just going to use the defaults, but you can do a lot of different things here. You can, there's a lot of different parameters that you can choose. So let's come over here and let's go do this. Let's go run this and let's see what happens. You can see down here in the log file, the word dictionary is opened. And now we have a processed list. Let's go open. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So what do we have here? All right, let's go look at total occurrences, synonym machine, make, so forth. Okay. So from there, we actually generated synonyms. We actually converted this document into using synonyms with WordNet Dictionary. So at least you have something pretty cool to work with here. Now let's just take a look at what it looks like without the synonyms, right? We want to actually look at what the stemming is. So let's just disable this real quick. And we'll compare stemming with WordNet and we'll compare stemming just with the standard RapidMiner text mining extension operators. So stemming here, let's say we did some humane stemming and it all kind of looks pretty good, right? It looks like an actual set of words, allow, amount, here's announce and announcement, automated, so forth. Like in this case, I think when we use the RapidMiner stemming one, it'll just go down to a announce. These two will be combined. But WordNet tries to differentiate between them because announce may be a verb versus announcement is a noun per se, I believe. So it tries to separate them based on nouns and verbs. And as you saw here, if you come back to this operator, you can see work on noun type, verb, and so forth. So it tries to figure out how it's being used and stems it. Now, if I don't want to use the stemming for WordNet, and I suggest that you do, let's disable this and let's just use the RapidMiner stemming one. RapidMiner allows you to do stemming multiple ways. They have some preset ones, Porter, Snowball. You can use a dictionary, German, Arabic, and so forth. So we're just going to use the standard. Let's just use Snowball. Okay. And the language is English. Now, if you use Snowball, there's a couple other different languages that you can use here, Danish, Dutch, and so forth. But we're going to use English. Okay, I'm going to run this. And now, if you could see here how it stemmed it down to the actual root stem of the word. Like for instance, source. Source could be source, sources, right? Let's see here, deep learn, right here. Deep learn could be deep learning or deep learned, probably not. Manufacture could be manufacturing, manufactured, manufacturer. So this is a really right down to the root stemming. It's not very humane like WordNet. And it doesn't really differentiate between verb, noun, adjective, so forth. It just goes right down to the stem of the word. And it might not be a bad thing. It may, for your specific use case, may be important. So just so you know, there's two different types out there. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. I'm going to see if anybody's even watching my live stream and see if there's any questions in there. Okay. We only have one viewer. Well, hello, viewer. And I don't see any comments whatsoever. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to, what's the word for it? Try something else with RapidMiner today. Let's actually look at the word to vector operator. Okay. Start screen sharing. Okay, all right. So now let's just go to the community real quick. My old colleague, Martin Schmitz, he created the word to vector extension, which is really cool. And I built this one here. So here he did, I guess, synonym detection for word2vec. He did something neat here. Let's just see here. Oh, okay. All right. So he's actually downloaded this process, or actually he makes this process available. If you come down to the bottom of this, there's a process zip file. So let's just download it. Let's just take a look at what he's got here. Open. All right, we're going to extract this. Let's go extract. And I'm going to copy this and let's go put this in my OneDrive. Let's just do this. We'll create a new directory. We'll say word to vec. Paste it in here. See, now this is another way of actually importing your files. Remember we talked about importing files through XML. So Martin provides us with a RMP file, which just makes it a little bit easier in my mind. So let's just actually try to load this in. So he's got get stemming dictionary, and he's got read ln and run vir2vec. Okay, so let's just go and load those in. So come over here. I'm not going to save this process, so you guys will have to recreate it if you need to. So let's come over here. Let's do an import process. Let's come over OneDrive, Word2Vec, and let's try this one here. Ah, he's got the raw one. Okay, so I think it was the other one. Let's come over here, import. You see how easy this is? Over here, OneDrive again. Let's go to Word2Vec, read ln. Okay, just read it in. Let's just see what he's got. Oh, he's got this TripAdvisor. Okay, okay, all right. In which we have to get. Let me see if I can do this here. Let me go create a new, maybe the data is already there. Let's create a new subrepository. Okay. Let's see, Word2Vec. All right, configure. Go, let's path it to the OneDrive. Take it from there. Okay, save. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we don't have a data file. Let's go take a look at the data file. He reads the text in. Read as a text file. Okay, so let's see. He's going to go do this. Let's grab the text file that he had. So he's going to, for all rating, read all files in. Okay, let's go put this in here. Save this as a text file. Put this on my desktop. Okay. Ah, he's got all the data right here. Never mind. Let's go get the Turpus editor text, download it. There we go. Never mind. Never mind. I should learn to read this before I even live stream it. Oh, these are all DAT files, huh? Let's see right here. All right, what do we do here? In December, we created one. I don't know. I'll read all depicted processes on here. Okay. All right, let's go take a look at what we're reading in. Okay. Loop files. Okay. Now we start doing some fun stuff. Let's go extract this. Extract all. Extract it to that. Let's see if we can get these DAT files in. Okay. Let's go do this. There we go. He's already got it set up. He's already got it set up to load in the DAT files. Let's go here. Let's get my downloads. And let's find the TripAdvisor. And let's see if this actually loops. Okay, actually it does. Works really well. So let's go load this in. Let's get rid of the breakpoint here. And let's continue to loop this. Boop. Oh, actually, where's it going? Oh, it's going to store it in raw data. Okay, good. So we're using a loop files operator. Martin's using the loop files operator to load in the data, loop over it. And then what we're going to do, let's investigate what's going on here in a second. It's in the loop collection. So he's actually cutting the data. He's using a very powerful operator in the text mining extension called cut. And it actually can cut a region, an area. And he's created a nominal area. So he's saying that I'm going to create a content. I'm going to extract the content, put it into an attribute or a column with the region delimiter starting with content and then ending with a new line. Okay. So that's actually a very powerful way of sucking out data that you need, right? Out of text. And what it does is it just creates a collection because there's multiple data files. So it's going to loop through all the data files. Oops. All right, we'll try to save it under the Word2Vec. That was my problem here. We'll call this as raw data. Okay. And let's save it and run it again. Okay. So it's looping all the data files, and it creates a collection of the data files. And then this collection is then collected into one larger collection. So it takes all the multiple collections and puts it into one. And later on, when you want to actually iterate over these files or iterate over this data when you're text processing. So let's just check this out. It goes pretty quickly. While we're waiting, I forgot to do it in my last live stream, but I wanted to give a shout out to Vladimir. He just started his new consulting company called WTF, What the Fraud. It's actually kind of neat. He has a lot of background in fraud analytics by working for Yandex and I believe some other companies, some other financial fraud models. And he actually gave a presentation at RapidMiner Slovenia, RapidMiner Wisdom Slovenia, which I couldn't make, but it was quite an interesting talk. It's actually available on the YouTube channel for RapidMiner. So Vladimir, have a good luck on your new consulting gig or on your consulting business, and we should probably trade clients at some point. All right, so we're storing over here, and it's going to take a few minutes to do this because it's a very large collection. If I went here and right-clicked and showed the collection result, you should see it should be pretty big. It actually is very big. It's loading all this together. Could just mean that I'm a little bit slow. While this is loading and saving, I'm going to actually stop sharing, and I'm going to see if there's any questions going on here. All right. Absolutely no questions. Hi, guys. No questions. Cool. Okay. So let's see. Let's go back and see if this is finished running. Moral of the story, test this before you actually do anything. So it's definitely taken a long time to do this. And if this is taking too long, I'm going to actually probably stop this, pause this. Of course, I can always see how much memory it's sucking up on my little computer here. Yeah, I'm definitely crunching. I'm definitely crunching data. I'm definitely crunching here. Yeah, memory. Yep, everything's cranking up. What? Yeah, see, I'm at 0.1 gigs away from, or actually 1 gig away from using all my memory. So, all right. So it's a big data file. I don't have my 32 gigabyte laptop anymore. So, all right, what we're going to do, I think it's about 8:40. Let me stop sharing again. I'm going to take any questions that you may have, and we will maybe continue this in the next live stream. But hopefully today, finished. Okay. Yeah, there we go. It's finished. So we did run it. So I'm going to now go to the next one. Now we're going to run Word2Vec. Let's open this up. Here we retrieve the raw data. And now here's the new extension that Martin created. This is the word to vector operator. So if you want to learn more about word2vec, if you go to his post here, there's actually some links, I believe, in the bottom here. Here you go. There's the original paper, and there's a lecture from Stanford University about what it is. It's actually quite neat. It uses like a neural net to try to determine oh no, I just lost my train of thought. To having things having the same meaning. There we go. How should an algorithm know what that beautiful and gorgeous have the same meaning, or do they have similar connotations but different meanings? So word2vec tries to figure that out for you. So here, all we do is we load the data in. I'm not going to breakpoint it. When we're going to store it, we're going to create a model from it. So it actually creates a model. We're going to say this is the word2vec model. We're going to run it. Okay, all right, sorry. We'll get rid of this one here and we'll draw this in. Now, if you notice, it's important that you pass a collection through it. I believe he put it in here that says that it expects a collection right there, document collection. So let's run this. The word2vec operator it's more of a higher order type of operator, so it's a little bit harder to work with per se. It's a lot easier than coding it. Let me put it that way. So it's a more elegant solution in this visual programming, but it is a little bit trickier to work with. You have to know that you have to use a collection, a document collection to train the model on it. And you can see here, it'll give you a clue right here. It says DOC. So it's expecting document or a collection of documents, and outputs an MOD, a model. Okay. And there really is not much a whole lot of thing going on here except for these different parameters, which you can read more about in the help menu over here. So while that's running, I'm going to go now check for a process or check for comments. Okay. No comments. Very good. We'll let this run for a second. Oh, I'm not screen sharing anymore. Oh my, I'm having problems here. Yes. Ooh, yeah, funky. There we go. There we go. Now it's actually running. I got pinged by Martin to let me know that I wasn't sharing anymore. Thanks, Martin. Now it's actually processing it, and we'll store the model in a second. Whoa, that's cool, right? Recursion. Down here in the log, you can see that it's actually training. You can see that where it's complete. Still got a ways to go. No, Martin, I didn't know that this runs for at least a half hour. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this. Actually, maybe I'll let it run, but I'm going to stop the broadcast and I'm going to probably wrap it up for the day. So we'll touch base on this later on. I'm going to let this run and we're going to pick off next week, next Friday. We're going to do that. And then we're probably going to talk a little bit about maybe some time series and using RapidMiner for that and trying to recreate some of my old processes, maybe create a decision tree or so forth as well too. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But anyway, this is Thomas Ott for neuralmarkettrends.com. And thank you once again for visiting me on my live stream. I hope that this has been very helpful. I plan on doing this every Friday as my schedule permits. And I look forward to seeing you next time. So any other questions, please feel free to visit me on the community. I'm here. You can find me. Drop me a question. Or you could also go to my website, neuralmarkettrends.com, and interact with me there. Leave me a comment, read my articles and so forth, and read my posts. So, anyway, this is Thomas Ott for neuralmarkettrends.com. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Happy mining.